Hello, everyone. My name's Premal Patel. I'm the CEO of Healthy Minds Club UAE. And I'm delighted today to introduce the Wellbeing Majlis. This is my new podcast as part of the Healthy Minds Arabia magazine. What we'll be doing is bringing a whole host of our experts from the Healthy Minds Club to come and share their stories, their backgrounds, their expertise, and how what they do really helps create healthier minds in the UAE. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Candice from Shake with Candice. Candice is an expert who is on Healthy Minds Club. And so welcome, Candice, to the Wellbeing Majlis podcast.
Thank you. I feel honoured to be part of this.
And your first podcast. I feel honoured. I feel privileged to have you here,
Yes.
as the first one. So
thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for having me.
No, and thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here and in our little studio.
Yeah.
And so
beautiful.
Tell us, Candice, let me start with a couple of things. Shake with Candice. What does that mean? And how did you even get into this?
Okay.
Right.
So Shake with Candice is essentially just sort of branding what I am very passionate about. So it's sort of morphed into what I originally have done about 5 or 6 years ago, and then I've added on to that since. So I do a form of therapy called trauma release exercises, and essentially what it does, it helps people unwind any traumatic patterns or injuries that have been held in the body all the way up until birth.
So is that the thing you did 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah. So I got into this 5 or 6 years ago, but I wasn't always doing that.
Tell us your story. What were you doing before?
My story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was actually in banking for almost 20 years.
God, join the club.
So I nearly did a prison sentence in it. That's what it felt like anyway.
I did 10 and I had enough. Yeah.
So you'll know what the whole ethos is about in that industry. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like, okay, I started in something and was seeking something. But I wasn't actually that aware at the time. I think just the whole persona of who I built up in my 20s and 30s had started to wear thin. So this whole, chasing for money and material things, X, Y, Z, it does wear thin after a while. And then I started to become aware of, how I was feeling and reacting when I was doing my job. It was awful. Like when I was having these moments of just like frustration and not being able to contain my reactions when something wasn't going right or somebody got in the way of a deal, and then I started to think, hang on a second, this is not okay.
What was that sort of moment? Was there a moment that just triggered?
There was a moment. It was just something so simple. I think it was one of the biggest deals I was working on. And I think this was the bridge between me being able to put a deposit down on the house and then not. So when there was all these roadworks in front of me, it brought out a side of me that I was just not comfortable with. And in the pursuit of what? Money.
Right.
Okay. So that was just the way that it was. You have these high sales targets, but you have incredible commissions as a result, and you just have one eye on the prize. And if someone's standing in your way of that,
you're going to bonus at the end, right? That's it. Yes, and it's all the material things that we started chasing, right?
And look, at the end of the day, we are material beings, right? However much we try to put ourselves in the realms of not being, we are. We live in that world.
Right.
We're not all like Zen Buddhist monks that can just give up all of our possessions and then live free of that.
We could be. If we chose to do that, we could.
Exactly.
Right?
If we that's not my path yet. So I started becoming aware of my reactions to things, and I was like, this is not okay. So I started to not realize who I was anymore. And my husband was like, just quit your job already. Like, what was I needing to hang on to that reality for? And I think it comes from a very, very young age of just being very self-sufficient. I had a job when I was 12 years old, working in a fruit and veg market.
I worked in a market as well.
Did you?
I used to be in London, in Wembley Market, selling rugs and floor mats and stuff at the age of 11. For about 3 years, I did that with my uncle. Yeah,
so I think we just the hustle has probably been inside of us for a long, long time. So yeah, and I think just from a very, very young age, I knew that I just wanted to be, I don't know if I knew that at the point, but I just wanted to be self-sufficient. I wanted options and opportunity. And I didn't want to be knocking on my parents' door saying, I want this, I want that, and they also didn't have the means just to give me all that I wanted. So yeah, that started on that. And then when I started to realize that, no, this is not how I want to be, it took me about 2 years to quit my job. It really was something.
So it was there and it was just building up, building up.
It was building up. And then it was a point of there was point of no return.
What was the feeling on the day you quit your job?
Oh, it was weird because it was polarizing. Like I knew it wasn't for me anymore, but then I didn't know what I was going to do. Like I had no out.
Because in the job you have certainty, right? I've got a job, I'm earning an income, salary's
and that's
coming.
all who I was in all of my 20s and 30s. That's my identity. That's who I presented to the world, who I am. So that's where I started to go on a very deep dive, both spiritually, mentally, physically. And it was the most amazing time and the most awful time in my life, all wrapped up in one little bubble.
Wow.
And it was actually, I went on a retreat in Amsterdam doing a plethora of things. But one of the things that the facilitator had showed me in this retreat was TRE. And I was like, wow. I said, this is incredible. I think for the first time.
So what's TRE?
So TRE is trauma release exercises.
Right. Okay.
I think for the first time in a long time, I had the ability to feel my body. And it was quite alien to some people because some people are like, well, yeah, of course I can feel my body. But we live up here. Every human lives up here. Most humans live up here. And that's obviously where I was operational from a long, long time. And you'll know in banking, they want you to be living up here. They don't want you to be embodied because then you won't do the 12-hour days. 6 days a week.
You probably did longer than that, didn't you? Like, I'm sure.
Maybe not allowed to say that, but working in a bank, out of hours, closed in a bank. So you cannot be in your body because you're just on autopilot.
Right.
So it was the first time that I could finally feel myself in my body. And I was like, this is amazing. So then, I just went to do my studies in Singapore for a year.
So you went over to Singapore to study?
Yeah. And it was such a beautiful community. And you could just tell that people that were on this journey also were just trying to figure things out.
And your banking career was more in the UK, was it? Or where was it?
It was both. So I worked for HSBC and Santander in the UK. And then I was in the UK and I was just in my office and I was sat looking at the windows, and a lot of banks, as you probably know, are in these beautiful listed buildings there.
Beautiful buildings.
Beautiful buildings. But because of that, they don't have security. So there was like bars on my window and I was looking out. I was like, oh my God, I'm in a prison. I'm actually in a prison. What am I doing
You're in
here?
That prison at the window and then prison in the mind,
exactly.
Right? Wow.
So I just said to my boss, I said, look, I'm out. I said, I'm either going to go to New York or Dubai. Whoever gives me a job first, that's where I'm going. I'd never been to either place. I just needed something different. I needed a change. So I applied to both, and it was just Dubai. That was that seemed to be the easiest route.
Called you here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So then I came here. I did a bit of a different job. And then it was just a completely different environment, as you're probably aware of Dubai. It's so fast paced. Trying to find your feet here is and trying to find your roots here is not easy. No, it's not. It either chews you up and swallows you, or it spits you out. It depends. Dubai's not for everybody. But luckily I managed to sort of like imprint myself here and navigate my way through. And
But there's also this sense of you feel a bit more empowered here. You feel more encouraged. There's more people supporting you in whatever you choose to do.
Yeah.
You know, nothing is outside of the boundaries. It's like, if you choose that, okay, there's people that will help you along, right? That's what I found.
Because I think we're all in this, like, you know, we're all in this cesspool of wanting to find a different reality than what we have either back home or wherever home is.
That's it.
So, you know, the support network here is incredible. As long as you're able to get through the first 6 months to a year, then you know, life here is incredible. It's the land of manifestation. You know, you look at it, it was a desert at one point.
That's it.
Whether you agree with it or not, that's not the story, but it is the land of manifestation. So you can either take a slither of that,
I love that,
or you can be against it. It's up to you. But I think if you can weave in and out of the energy of Dubai and take from it what you can, leave from it what you don't want, then it can be an absolutely incredible experience. And that's what I found recently when I was morphing out. And I wouldn't have gone through what I went through if it hadn't have been for Dubai. I think I'll very much be doing the same job in England, probably in the same branch, doing the same thing, seeing the same faces day in, day out, and nothing would have changed. And that's okay. But that just wasn't for me. Yeah,
I'm a bit like you. You know, I was in the corporate world 30 years and I had this visualization of me retiring, you know, in that corporate world. I couldn't see it. I couldn't fathom it. I had to just leave, you know. So that's when I left at the end of, 2024. And I said, I'm out now. I'm done. You know,
I think there was a very, very pinnacle 10 years of transformation, because for me, it came in 2018. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And like every time you hear someone, it's always like around a 10-year period, and you're seeing the change. There's no denying it now. People are wanting difference. And I think that's what drove me to doing this practice, because I thought, wow, it was so valuable for me. Who else can it be valuable for? And I had no intention whatsoever when I went to go and do my studies to actually continue and teach this to other people. I just wanted to learn. Like, I was like, right, what if I'm not doing this anymore? Who am I? Okay, let's just find out.
So tell me, Shake with Candice, who is it valuable for?
Everybody. Every single human being on the planet, because it's a very primal, very natural shaking mechanism that resides in every human and every mammal on the planet.
How would I know that this is what I need? That I need this from you? How would I know that?
I don't know, is the answer to that question. I think the best thing for someone to do is try it.
Okay.
And then you can see how you need it.
Because like if something's wrong with me, like if there's something, up here and I'm thinking, I just don't feel right, I need some support, I need help.
Yeah.
Reaching out to sort of do a process around sort of shake and body movements is not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah. It's not for many people, because I think a lot of people think they have to tackle this and then everything else will fall into place. But I've spoken about this a lot, and a lot of people talk about the trifecta. Mind, body, spirit. You cannot deal just with the mind and not the body, spirit. And you can't just be spiritual and not deal with the body and the mind. All three are encompassing.
That's really insightful.
One of each other, because you cannot.
Okay.
And sometimes you can concentrate on one, and then you'll find that the other two, something's out of balance here. So again, it's all about balance. So I think where I fit into the trifecta is the body bit.
So
and
what
that's
do you do then?
So basically so I do TRE, which is trauma release exercises, and I do fascial maneuvers from a movement called Human Garage. So it's all about looking at the body, the fascia, which is now beginning to be the most incredible thing that they're studying more and more about. And it's just about movement. With the TRE part, it's about your very own primal shaking mechanism, allowing you to unlock and release any trauma patterns or anything that's been held in the body, injury or otherwise, since birth. Now, when I talked to you about how I was reacting at work, I was thinking, well, what can I do to limit my reactions? Because everything is a trigger, right? They say everything is either a projection or mirror, and then it triggers something inside of you. No one's doing anything to you. It's how you react to it. So that's sort of unaware that was the path that I was starting to go down, unaware that that's what I wanted to achieve. But I found by doing this journey that I started to react less. Things weren't as overwhelming as they were before, because every time that you do a shake or you do a tremor, a box of trauma or a box of tension is removed from you. So your ability to receive life is a lot easier.
Oh God, I love that.
Yeah. And the sense of overwhelm isn't as explosive as it used to be when you keep doing TRE consistently. This is the thing. I think a lot of people are just looking for that one
hit wonder, right? It's like the magic.
And they probably don't realize they are, but they're like, one session of this or one plant medicine of this, it's not going to heal you.
When you say consistently, what does that mean? Does somebody have to, once you start, you should just keep doing it all the time? Or,
I would say, everybody as well loves a prescription. They love, how many times do I need to do this? How long do I need to do it? And it's taking away the essence of you learning about what your own body needs. Right. So I would just say, if you can just check in with yourself once or twice a week and say, how am I feeling today? Just that simple question. And if you are feeling a little bit frazzled or even a little bit tired, if you're feeling super energized, is it energy or are you dysregulated? Because there's a lot of people that are going around this city that are like,
there's that thing around like,
I'm energized.
Honeybees, right? They're just, everyone's just going around.
And it's like, are you, or are you really in your body? And I was a victim of that. And I will still be a victim of that because living in Dubai anyway, your nervous system will already be heightened in sympathetic. I actually went for a brain scan with a Menla scan with the Dr. Penny brothers at Embodied Clinic. Incredible guys.
Okay.
And I was like, how is my nervous system at sympathetic? And he says, you cannot get out of that. When you live in a city like this, just the pace of it will elevate the nervous system. And, I'm not going to get into Dubai traffic, but you can see.
Traffic, I mean, look, I've been here this last few days and traffic is crazy.
Yeah. So that's one of the things.
Crazy. Like you get stuck for so long.
Yeah. And then that can take you out of your body.
Imagine, like you have to go half an hour to get back to where you are. Right?
Yeah, but you can't do anything about that. That's the city we live in. There's more and more people that are coming here to have the lifestyle that a lot of people are craving. So I see it a bit differently. I'm like, amazing. How incredible is that people are coming here because they want to be safe. They want opportunity. Exactly. They do want, but then it comes at a cost. And then you have to live with that cost. Like I said to you just before we started, I have my villa and then I go 20 minutes around it. If I can't cycle to that bit, brilliant. I'm just like, okay, now I have to really pencil this in. And do I really want to do it? Am I really wanting to put myself in Dubai traffic to go and do that thing? If it's an absolute yes, which
I feel privileged today that you went outside of your circle.
I went outside of my circle and got in my car.
And got in your car. And,
then I'll know. But then if the answer to that is, even if it's just a slither of a doubt, then I'll just be like, no, I'm not doing that because I don't want to come out of my peace.
Of course.
And that was my...
And peace is happiness, right? When you got your peace, that's where you're happy. That's your happy space.
But it's not easy to attain. And this was my 2026 wish. Not wish. This was my 2026 my understanding of who I am, and I want to gain peace because there's so much talk and so much noise about, okay, we had the year of the snake and now we're going to the year of the horse. And I think if you can get wrapped up in the noise and you start to think, oh my God, the horse, and it's going to, and okay, it could be fast this year. If 2025 was anything to go by.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
2026 is going to be.
But don't we say that every year? Every year just seems to go faster and faster. What's going on?
Because it's just the illusion of time.
I think it's just the way we are. I think we're just all running around, trying to make something meaningful from our lives, right?
Exactly.
And where do you find the meaning?
And we're taking away the pure essence of what life is supposed to be.
You're right. Enjoy it.
And that's just like taking pause, taking time to just be in stillness or silence or whatever that piece looks like for you. Or have some fun.
Just,
just laugh with Lily.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Definitely doing her laughing yoga.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think my aim for 2026 was like to find peace, because if I get wrapped up in that noise of like, okay, the year of the horse, I should be doing, because I feel that, okay, well, everyone else is doing, why am I not? And I thought, no, I'm going to do it differently. I'm not going to do and see what happens.
Yeah, good. That's great. You've got to do what's right for you, right? That's the thing. Do you do sessions for just individuals or groups? I mean, how does that work?
Both. Both. So I was doing individuals for a long time, and then I was more called to then start running group sessions because I felt it's nice to hold space and be a container for one person, but I wanted to get out there and impart this wisdom, which is your own body, onto more and more people. So I concentrate on both, but my desire is to sort of do more group sessions because I feel that the more people that can learn this, the less that you need to come and see me. Because it's just an innate part of your own body that is
and
medicine.
Things like this, like we're trying to sort of like bring some new learning and some new, I suppose, education and knowledge, right, to the broader audience, outside of Healthy Minds Club and as part of Healthy Minds Club. How do we get people to know you more? How do you go about, how do people gain that knowledge? Where do they... obviously now we have Healthy Minds Club to find you. So you're there and that people can go to the website, healthymindsclub.ae. That can find Candice.
I'm under a lot of different headings. Stress management is one of them.
But how else do people find you?
So my main platform is Instagram. That's my love and hate relationship with it, but that is really where the world is. So I'm Shake with Candice on Instagram. And a lot of people reach out to me there. I've got my own little hub of a WhatsApp group, WhatsApp family. And, we have our family there, but those are really the two main platforms that I'm present on.
Just want to get your opinion on something right now. So there seems to be this huge movement right now on well-being. Employee well-being is a big issue. Loads of leaders are talking about, oh my God, my team, I need to do something for them. People are burning out and whatever. What's happening in your opinion? What's happening out there?
Wow.
Why is well-being suddenly sparked into the hot trend?
I think a lot of people are trying to just figure things out. Honestly, I don't think it's any more complicated than that. And because of that, they're now starting to realize that they're not a machine and that there are other things out there that are worth exploring. And as a part of that, they may be discovering that what they used to find pleasure in, i.e. a work, it's not so pleasurable anymore. So corporations are going to have to get more and more creative of how they engage their staff. And because there is so much information out there about well-being, people are starting to learn, okay, what actually attracts me and what doesn't. And I think if you're going into work every day and it's burning you out, making you miserable, it doesn't light you up, then people are going to want to look for something alternative. So I think it is a bit of a buzzword at the moment, but I think it's a good buzzword because I don't think it has been in the spotlight enough. And I think agree. The more that we can make it normal, and we can just normalize it in the workplace. If someone is having a hard time, or if someone is on the verge of having burnout or breakdown or something, then at least you can rely on another human being that happens to be your colleague to hold space for you.
And people, like practitioners like you who have been through the corporate world, you've come out of it, you've suddenly gone into a whole new area, finding your peace. I think that's so inspiring for so many people because there's so many people out there who fear leaving that corporate job because, oh my God, how will I pay the bills? What will I do? What will my family say? People's opinions, judgments, all of this as that. Then carry on until they burn out.
Yeah, I know.
And
then how long are you going to have off work to then recover from that? Could that time that you would have spent being burnt out and not being able to produce anything, could that time be spent finding on what you actually want to do? And of course, it's.
I think we're so caught up with all we got to pay the bills, got to do this, got to make ends meet, got to, kids' school, whatever it's going to be. There's so much pressure. The pressure points are just exploding right now.
Of course.
And I think, bringing conversations like this out to the marketplace, I'm hoping, if we can help one person improve or make that leap of faith and make that decision, I think we've done a good job out of it, right? So
I think as well, you can't deny the fact that, there are people that have more pressures than others, i.e., parents that have to pay for bills and can't just, give up anything and go traveling around the world like you see. But this is another form of pressure. And that's why I have a love and hate relationship with Instagram. And you can see someone's like 5-second life and you're like, oh, mine is so dull and boring. And it's like, no, it's not. That's not reality, right? Create your own reality and the bandwidth of what you have inside of it. And if there is something that is off that you're not quite comfortable with, take steps to change it. Don't, like you say, get to the point. But you have to
take the action, right? You have to take those 100%. Actions, right?
The individual has to take responsibility.
No one else is going to do it. No one's coming with a silver plate, say, here it is for you, right?
No. And it's about taking responsibility.
And half those things on Instagram, you don't even know if it's real or if it's AI.
I know. This is the thing now, right? This is the thing. I've seen some of this stuff and I'm like,
real.
I know.
You think, really?
That's why it's scary. And this is why the world is actually craving for more authenticity. They're craving for things that are real, not the latest trend or this or that or the other. They just want something that's palatable, something that's real, and something that they can see results in, not something that's out there and unattainable. And I'm never going to get to that point. I think small practices like something like TRE or fascial maneuvers, it can just put you into a state of, okay, how am I going to set my day up today? You do 15 minutes of TRE or you do a 20-minute fascial release, anti-stress reset, and then it can set your day up in a different mindset.
Sure.
They're now talking about how, and we all know this about affirmations, but they're actually now saying they did a clinical study in people talking to themselves for 2 weeks, and the inflammation markers for somebody who had cancer had gone down significantly. And somebody,
really?
I don't know the other, I'll send you the study.
Yeah,
and then somebody else, I don't know what their ailment was, but that had completely gone. So we're talking about like even just the way you talk to yourself. And this is the small little voice that is in the head, that has center stage most of the day. You don't realize how damaging and how it controls your life, really. And then the reality that is projected outwardly because of this voice inside of your head. So if you can try to small little adjustments every day, when you're doing
little
something.
micro moments, isn't it? Micro adjustments, micro change. That just builds up to just maybe going over the line, say, okay, do you know what? I found my peace. I found my happy place, and it's so linked to what we are doing together, right? In Healthy Minds Club. Because Healthy Minds Club is all about performance and resilience and happiness. That's what we want to do. And our little community of practitioners and experts who everyone will get to know. I think it's a fantastic community. I think I'm learning so much out of it. I mean, you've just taught me, and I've learned so many new things today, just from talking to you in a space of 20 minutes, right? So I think if there's one thing you want to, in fact, there's two questions from me. Right? One is end of 2026. What does it look like for you? What's your sort of, where do you see this year for you?
Do you know what? It's really interesting because I feel like at the start of each year, everybody has this really grandeur, I don't know, sort of like projection of like, okay, I want to do X, Y, Z. And every single year, I've never had that. And I think that's actually served me very well, because part of me thinks if I set my year up to achieve X, Y, Z, this, that, the other, then am I going to be missing things that are actually for me? Because what I create at the start of 2026
you're chasing something but missing out.
Might not necessarily be what I need at the end of 2026. So my Candice as the reality projection on the start of 2026, how do I know what she's going to be at the end? So if I'm then trying to chase these milestones out 2026, then how do I know if that was the actual right thing for me? So I've never had, like, people say, what's your 5-year plan? I'm like, what?
No way.
And this was
5 years now. I can't plan beyond a year.
No, you just can't, because the pace in which things are going, it's like you could miss that opportunity. You could be busying yourself with what you thought you needed, and then you're actually not having the encounter with the person that you needed to take you to the next stage.
I mean, this time next year, the world's going to be a different place again.
Exactly. So this is why I try and sort of I try and keep the calendar on like a 2-month rolling rotation.
I love that. Yeah.
And just see what comes up. Yeah. And then just, the end of the month, I'm going to Singapore to do some training in what I do. And I'm just going to keep it open because I don't know who I'm going to meet there. Yeah. But if I busy my schedule for like February, March, April, then I'm like, well, I could miss that opportunity to do something with someone there. Yeah. So I try not to. I try not to have these plans, 5-year plans. I never knew I was going to ever come to Dubai. If I had a 5-year plan, maybe I wouldn't be here.
That's it.
You know.
And I'm so glad you're in Dubai. I came to Dubai. We met.
I know.
And we're going to do some great stuff this year. You know, hopefully we're going to do a lot of great stuff this year together.
I hope so.
If there's one thing that you feel an important message for 2026 for the audience, what would it be?
Just get on the mat and shake, honestly. I think
love that.
Start realizing what your body needs, and then the mind and the spirit will thank you for it. So just finding a practice, somatic or otherwise, that keeps you in your body, because the pace of this world is only going to get faster. And if you don't have the ability to be in the body, then you're not going to be able to be in the mind or the spirit.
Love that. What a message. So Candice, just want to thank you for being here today.
So
it's been a huge privilege for me to have you here.
And
Wellbeing Majlis podcast, which will be going live on the Healthy Minds Arabia magazine.
Amazing. I cannot wait.
You'll be out there. We'll be out there. Our conversation will over the next few weeks. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Prem. Great. Thank you.